Joining me now, Republican Texas Congressman and a member of the House Oversight Committee, Congressman Pete Sessions. Congressman, great to see you. I just want to listen to some sound from this morning from Congressman Comer about the suspicious activity reports and the focus of that particular Biden investigation. Just listen to this, and I'll get your reaction.
The SARs show that Hunter Biden was conducting business with suspected human traffickers. The money gained through influence peddling was funneled to a suspected criminal enterprise, again, one linked to human trafficking. We have repeatedly called on the Biden Treasury Department to release additional financial documents to committee Republicans, but thus far Treasury has refused. We want to know what the Biden administration is trying to hide from the American people.
Congressman Sessions, these are suspicious activity reports. What do you have to do to get these reports? There are only 2, I believe, in your possession, at least 150 related to the Biden family members' financial transactions. Will you be able to get them from Treasury?
Well, in fact, the discussion that has gone on about President Trump for years has been information about the way the president conducted his personal business. And of course, we know that this is the President of the United States' personal business with his son. It's family business. It's family business with China. It's family business with some bit of what we believe, but we want to test this theory, the Department of Justice blocking investigations, data, and information. This is all information that is relevant to national security. This is information that is relevant that we believe the Department of Justice has played a role in, and so we're going to ask those questions and expect answers.
Do you worry that going into next year, when the United States is likely going to be in a deep recession, even a protracted recession, that the American people look at this and you have to do even better job of explaining why this would be important to them and why this is worth your time?
Well, perhaps. The president has already said he's not going to change any policy that he has. And yet, going back when President Clinton faced a change in majority, he said the era of big government is over. President Biden has chosen to say he will not negotiate nor change what he does. So Republicans would like to negotiate with him. We would like to find a better way, not just on the border. We'd like to find a better way on the economic impact of inflation on this country. Sitting on financial services, we have had long discussions with Janet Yellen for a long time, and they denied that we would be where we have been. So there has to be some reality check, and it comes with public hearings, it comes with oversight, and it comes with asking questions. These are not tough questions, but this White House, since January a year ago, has said that they would be open and honest and transparent, and since January 22nd of a year ago, they have not been. So they are the ones who are not living up to what they said they would do. Republicans will ask questions and expect answers.
And have hearings and call witnesses that the American people will be able to hear from?
Well, as long as we do it in public, I think it's fair game. It's when you use an organization like the FBI to do your dirty work and force them to do things that are really well out of bounds, like having the FBI go and gather information and provide it then to the Judiciary Committee to do an impeachment hearing on the president the first year. That's not right. They should do their own investigation and leave federal law enforcement out of that investment that they have made on impeaching the president, which they did twice. So we're not going to do that. We're going to use our own leverage. We're going to ask questions and expect this administration to give us answers.
Congressman, all the Republicans have to do in the House is not spend any more money. No new debt, no new spending. And on that note, can Kevin McCarthy corral the leadership, corral his caucus of the Republicans in the House the way that Nancy Pelosi did? Because I'll point out that there were Republicans in the House that signed on to the infrastructure bill, helped the Democrats pass it. And there were 24 who helped the Democrats pass that CHIPS boondoggle. That's not corralling the caucus.
Well, in fact, you're correct, and that was done with Nancy Pelosi as Speaker and Chuck Schumer as Majority Leader. We now will have the power, as we did in 2011 and 2012, and when I served as Chairman of the House Rules Committee, I literally cut a deal with Tom Price, the Budget Committee Chairman, the same kind of deal that will be cut now, and that is that we will not bring any spending to the floor that does not have the advantage of literally taking off $1 trillion. We don't know what that final number is going to be, but not adding any spending and perhaps going back. You remember, we went back to 2008 spending levels, and for 8 years, without adding a penny to discretionary spending, we held that line. Now, did it cause real problems? Yes, it did. And we were willing to take the hundreds of votes to sustain that, and the country was better for it.
Congressman Pete Sessions, thank you so much. Good to talk to you.
You bet.